We have 6 kids, we live on welfare, and we're trying for baby number 7.
EBT member of the weekend. You have 6 kids and you want to have more? And you're on EBT. What?
I decided I want to try for baby number 7 because we're on welfare. Okay? So you don't actually have to work until the baby turns 7. And
Did y'all know that? I was unaware that they didn't have to work till the baby turns 7. You should be working immediately. What are we talking about? The baby turned 7. What?
our youngest is turning 2, so I decided it's time to try for another baby. So that way we don't actually have the kid off welfare. And I'm so fertile that
I can't watch the rest of this. Are those wigs in your hair? And he's black, right? The fella, baby father. It's all making sense to me now. EBT member of the week.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I will never waver and why I could never falter. Because there's nothing you can tell me to try to convince me that this ain't just plain wrong. And this brother called her EBT member of the week. Man, she's got to at least be EBT member of the decade to come out and admit something like this. And let's address this first and foremost. First and foremost, what are your children going to think when they discover the vile nature of which they were conceived? That's what I first want to know. Because you've just admitted that the reason for their existence is strictly for you to be able to benefit off of a system. And see, what we can't let get past us is not only her rationale for the reason that she's having her children, but also the fact that she's got somebody in on this with her. So there's somebody else that she ran this idea by and was in agreement. But ultimately, I don't understand how you're struggling and how you need help, but there's 2 of y'all, and then you just get to continue digging deeper and admitting that the reason that you're digging deeper is because you expect people like me to pay your way through the entire way. Because once it starts to, again, get to the point to where your kids start getting older, see, let's be honest. She mentioned that her youngest is 2 right now. So if she could have spaced this out more, she would. But what I think what she mentioned was that it was due to her fertility. So it was her biological clock that's got her saying, well, let me just have one more so that I can make sure that I can squeeze out as much as I can. But best believe, after she tries this one or whatever and things start getting desperate, what you think she's going to try to do again? She's going to just try to throw up the Hail Mary, and if she can have more, she'll continue. And who has to live under these circumstances, under these logistics? The children. The children have to live under these logistics that you're creating. And I feel like if you cared, then you wouldn't continue digging deeper ditches that can ultimately fall back and bury you, as well as your kids. And then see, it's going to be on us to feel sympathy and to make sure that you can sustain when you just came on here and you admitted that you've purposely done this, but then you'll ultimately have no responsibility for the outcome.
I got a job because I ain't never had a job and I don't know what it feels like to work. So how would I be able to cope with working if I ain't never had a job? How?
Who the is that in the background? Hold on, man. Hold the F up. She's talking this whole time. It's a grown man in there. And she don't got no you know, shirt on, in the bed with that thing on her head. And then on top of that, she took it a step further and she's up under the covers, what appears to be bucket naked. Hold on.
I ain't got a job because I ain't never had a job and I don't know what it feel to like to work. So how would I be able to cope with working if I ain't never had a job? How would I be able to work if I ain't never had a job?
Listen to him. Don't that sound like a brother living up under a chick? The whole time, listen to what he's saying. I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing. This is cliche as can be.
And I don't know what it feel to like to work. So how would I be able to cope with working if I ain't never had a job? How would I be able to work if I ain't never had a job? Like, I don't know how to work. I ain't never had a job in my life. So how would I work? I ain't never worked for minimum wage. So how would I work? I ain't never had a job in my life. I don't pay tax dollars, as y'all say.
Okay. So her whole argument is the fact that she's never had a job in her life. So what do we expect her to do? At one point, none of us had a job in our life. You got to take that first step and get that job. What are you talking about? That was a choice. Basically, all you're saying is that you avoided it for as long as you could. But now you're at the point to where, honestly, we don't want to hear that ish. You're going to have to get a job. There's no time like the present, especially when you're under the circumstances that you're in. And see, she didn't help her case as far as the laziness aspect. She's not even dressed. She's not just in the bed. She's up under the covers. I mean, the optics couldn't be worse. And then the things coming out of her mouth, and she expects us to like understand the cognitive dissonance. And it's this mindset that has people who are reasonable and rational minded saying enough of this ish. I don't care how many empaths try to justify it and try to say, no, the statistics. No, we can see for ourselves what's going on. And it's pretty clear that these type of circumstances where people are making choices to not work, and even like the first lady trying to maneuver within the constraints and the rules and regulations of the laws in order not to work, we see what's going on. It's obvious. And if it wasn't obvious enough, we literally have confessions.
One of your basic needs should be taxpayer funded. Food, water, healthcare, shelter, clothing, electricity, transit, access to the internet. These are all basic needs that we are required to survive within this society, and as such, it is society's responsibility to ensure that those are provided to its people. Full stop. End of story. Have a day.
You could just say that you're lazy, unskilled, and unable to take care of yourself, but sure, let's play this out. I go to work, it's payday, I come home, I look at my paycheck, and the government has taken almost all of my paycheck from me to put into this taxpayer fund to redistribute to the rest of society. Well, that sucks. Why should I be the one who has to labor when I could just stay home and the government's gonna take care of me? So I quit my job. Then everyone else starts quitting their jobs because the government's gonna take care of us, right? But oh shoot. Now we're having mass supply chain issues because we don't have enough production. So then the government starts assigning jobs because society's got to run, you know what I'm saying? So you get assigned a job, and if you don't do your assigned job, then you don't get your rations. Congratulations. Now
he's finna give up all his personal rights as a human being just to be lazy. And I think a lot of people would opt out to that, to be honest. It's a lot of people who would have us out here being slaves, like she so eloquently put it, just in the sake of laziness, just in the sake of not wanting to work. I mean, that guy looked like the perfect archetype of somebody that doesn't want to work, and somebody that, honestly, in my opinion, is probably a bit mentally weak, mentally fragile. And see, that's more of the reason why he needs to work. And that's more of the reason why he needs to get out here and have more experiences. and take chances and not just be given everything, because it makes you soft like that. It makes you soft to the point to where you'll be a grown, able-bodied man, fit even, and you just want everything given to you, and you don't want to try to have the pride of being able to be just responsible for yourself. He doesn't even like he has kids, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that you don't just want to be responsible for taking care of yourself. That's all you have to do. This is where we're at. But let's leave it there. Y'all like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join the Limitless Legion. Cash App's link below if you want to tip the channel. Buy a boy iced coffee. And also feel free to join the Patreon as well, where I post self-improvement content. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video.